I just love that entry. Welcome, everybody, to the GOAT, the show where you own your shit, where you're going to get real and talk about what a GOAT is and the accomplishments that it takes to be a GOAT. What does it take to be a GOAT? And I'm here today. My name is Jeff Miner, and I am a licensed professional counselor and a performance coach that works with athletes to become the best that they can be. And I'm here today with Damian Brown, Coach D.
What's up, everybody?
Introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Coach D. If you know me, you need to. If you don't,
we can't hear you, D.
You can't hear me?
No.
Can you hear me now?
No. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? You're on mute. You're muted.
Do you hear me now?
You're not. Still can't hear you.
All right. Well, go ahead, Jeff.
All right, I'll talk because it's partially my show. So everybody, today what we want to talk about is what a GOAT is and how a GOAT is built and what we're going to do with that. We're going to have guests come on that are GOATs. We're going to have professional GOATs, athletes that are GOATs. We're going to have people that are local people, that are athletes, local kids, come on and talk about GOATs. And so lately what we've decided to do is, what is a GOAT? You know, we were trying to figure out the definition of what is a GOAT. And, you know, we got things like, is a GOAT? Yeah, is the GOAT somebody that scores the most points? Is the GOAT somebody that controls the team the most? Is the GOAT the one that helps them to win the most? Is the GOAT the one that sets them apart? And there's so many different, is it a different position? Like, can you say a GOAT of basketball? Is there such a thing to say as there's one GOAT? So what we're trying to do is break that down and figure out the difference between a GOAT and an average athlete, somebody that just wants to be good, and what it takes to be a GOAT. So over the next few weeks, that's what we're going to do. So Damian and I came up with this breakdown of GOAT for us that makes sense. And it starts with grit. You know, what is grit? And we go down the list, and grit is the desire, the ability to not let disappointments, let setbacks, let things get in your way. And grit is the person that, you know, Damian asked me, who do you know that has grit? And I've had the opportunity to watch John Stockton up close many, many times. And that dude, his mental game, what's going on with his head is amazing. He was a leading steal, leading assist, and he showed grit in every practice. So John Stockton, in my mind, is one of those guys that had more grit than anybody. But can you say he's a GOAT? Is he the GOAT of basketball? Probably not. So let's go. The next one is, what is it? The ability.
Own your shit, baby.
To own your shit and get real with what's going on in your sport and own your shit with you. And when you own your shit, when you get real and you start taking that step and start believing in yourself and getting real with yourself, that you can become a GOAT. That's part of being a GOAT, is when you own your shit and you get real with yourself. And that's what we do here at Triumph, is we help people get real with themselves. And the next one, Damian, you take this one. You're back with me, I see.
Oh, man, finally. I mean, I'll have to own my shit. I'm not the best at technology, you know, but
I can't hear you yet.
Every day. You know, this is definitely a learn. So it takes a slap on the wrist. We're going to keep it pushing, baby. So when it comes down to GOAT, you know, I would say that A is acumen. You know, it's having that mental fortitude to not only know the sport you're playing, but to know your opponent's tendencies, to watch so much film that you're being able to dissect things before they actually even do it. That to me is a huge attribute of a GOAT, is the mentality superior to their competition, knowing when to do it, what to do, and exactly what the results would come of that becomes more natural to a GOAT than anybody else. And then if you were kind of sum all this up, Jeff, I think this is kind of one of our staples here in our peak performance programming is helping people build what we call the mind of a champion. And what that is it's not only having that belief that you can achieve, pushing through with grit, owning your shit when you're starting to fail, having the acumen, the discipline to focus in, but because of all of those reps, because of the thousands of hours you put in to being at that 3, 2, 1 moment of your career, you're ready for it. So the mind of a champion is being solid and trusting the disciplines you had before that moment ever became. So that's why you're cool, calm, and collected, because you've been there 1,000 times before today. So again, the mind of a champion, I think, again, is a huge attribute of being the GOAT.
Damian, who has the mind of a champion more than anybody you know?
More than anybody know in all of history right now, man, I got to say right now, and today is definitely Patrick Mahomes. He's constantly, just the things he knows what to do. Like, I can get the ball with a sidearm. I can get the ball with a pitch out. I get the ball with, a no look. That just, again, he's playing multiple sports and he's playing against his opponents. That's not even football anymore. He's just beating you. He's going to beat you every time. That's huge right now. I think he's a huge GOAT. Good example.
You were talking about acumen. You were talking about like being able to read the field, your opponents. Kobe was amazing at that, and Patrick is amazing at that, reading the field and knowing what's around him. But you know what? When you put grit and you put like being honest with yourself and overcoming your fears and have a true belief in yourself, you put all that together, and that's a GOAT. And there's not many of those out there.
Well, again, this debate has been circled around on topics like, for instance, Jeff, does the GOAT someone that gets the most points?
Right. I know. Well, honestly, it's like I have a totally different look on GOAT. It's the 4 things that we were talking about, the grit and all those together are required for a GOAT. And we showed a lot of athletes like John Stockton. He had more grit and intensity than anybody I ever made. And acumen, he could read the field and actually being honest with himself. But the true mind of a champion, what was he? I don't know. You can't compare him to Michael Jordan. You can't compare him to Kobe because they scored more and they dominated more in some ways. But you look at Stockton, that dude was in control of the court.
Yeah, I mean, again, being the GOAT of the 2 categories of steals and assists, baby.
Right.
That size of LeBron, the skill of Jordan doesn't match him in those 2 areas. But like you said, when it comes down to being the greatest basketball player, you're right. That's not really up for discussion.
Right.
You're the greatest passer in the game, though. We'll give you that.
Well, and next week we want to talk a little bit about that topic of, I've heard it once or twice before. I don't know, just a little LeBron, MJ. Really, it comes down to it. It's like I would like to dissect that a little bit and get some opposing views.
Oh, let's get it started. Stir the pot, Jeff.
Right, exactly. Yeah. We want to get it going. We want to make that happen, dude. And you know what? The GOAT's in everything when you really think about it. Race car driving, or you think hockey, or, Wayne Gretzky. It's like, seriously, who else can even compare to Wayne Gretzky?
I mean, when it comes to hockey, I'll be honest, Jeff, Black people don't know a lot about hockey, so I that's going to be a category you're going to have to leave for us.
I can help you there, my friend.
Now, we do know about some things about some tennis, though, okay?
Right.
They got that Sampras and what's his name, the guy that they have matchups all the time. Those 2 are the huge ones.
Roger Federer.
There you go. Yep.
Well, and you know what? I like the Venus and Serena. Oh, my goodness. They
dominant.
But you got to look at Billie Jean King for her time and the different. So it's like breaking down who are the GOATs. is
Not,
going to be part of what we do. But what I really want to do is I want everybody to be able to take out of this, like, I can be a goat.
absolutely.
You know, I can create the mindset of a goat. A Navy SEAL isn't born. You know, they create that mindset. And to become a goat, it takes a certain mindset. It takes a belief in yourself and a way to believe that most people don't have. You know, Navy SEALs, how do Navy SEALs get so tough? It's like, you can't hurt me. You can't hurt me. That's grit. That is, I can get through anything. So, what I'm hoping to do with the show over the next, well, however long it goes, I want to introduce goats of our local community,
Oh, yeah.
the high
So,
school goats. I want the young kid goats. Who's the best tennis player? Who works out like a goat? Do they have to perform and have the scores and all? No, I want who's a goat. Who's got that mentality? Who's got that desire? Who is that team player that wants to pass and is willing to play for the team and not just themselves? I want to meet goats on this program.
absolutely. And again, that's for all our audience. We need you to go ahead and give us some submissions. Anybody in your community, whether it's your baby, whether it's your son, your cousin, whatever it is, if they're in this city, bring them out. Please communicate with us and let us know who you feel is the GOAT of their time or is an up and coming GOAT for the future. We love to put them on our GOAT of the week and continue to show again the community of growth within here in Kansas City.
So what we're going to be covering during each show is we're going to be talking about a goat. We're going to be talking about a local goat. We're going to be talking about the goat of the week, somebody that we have been following that has done something over the week that deserves some recognition. But I want us to not limit it.
Yeah.
There are goats in every walk of life. If you're a parent,
Exactly. Also, you hit the nail on the head. Parents, we want to call you out and spotlight you. If
right?
there's no athlete, there's no business professional, there is no one that amounts to anything without their parents. So we thank you all and want to give you guys some GOAT shout outs as well.
We sure do. And I want Kevin and Tom and all you guys that have joined us today. I want to thank you for participating in this and watching our show. And we hope to make this fun for you. We're hoping that we're going to get real with some goats and we're going to own our shit. And we hope that you can do that too during our show. Get real with yourself. Get real with your children. It's time to become a goat.
Absolutely. You're going to have a lot of resources that we're going to have to help you unlock the hidden potentials within you so that you can be a GOAT.
Looking forward to talking to you next time. I think we're still going.